it is now my honor to introduce our guest speaker. Okay, so we have today with us our sports science professional, Katie Balthrop. She is the founder and owner of Savannah Sport and Wellness, where she offers services from personal training to motion and metabolic analysis. She has been active as a fitness professional since 2007. She's a certified strength and conditioning specialist, as well as an RRCA Certified Coach. She holds a Master's of Science in Sports Medicine from Armstrong State University, and she has earned her undergraduate degree in architecture from the University of Notre Dame. It is my pleasure. Let's give a warm welcome to Katie Balthrop.
Thank you all. Thanks for spending your lunch with me. Okay. I'm going to start with a couple questions. I would like to get to know you better. Does anyone here lift weights? Yes, my people. Good. Has anyone ever started a strength training, weightlifting program, gotten frustrated, hit a plateau, gotten hurt, given up? Me? Has anyone here never even considered adding this type of exercise into your routine? Okay. I'm so pleased that you're all here because you're a really informed crowd. And I've learned that from the previous talks I've been to, and I just can't wait to have a good conversation with you. Because a lot of times, when we think about strength training, we think about this guy. Or this girl. She knows what she's doing. She's got a weight belt on. She's really strong. She's got a big heavy bar on her back. She belongs in the weight room. Sometimes when you're writing your talk at midnight, you get down the rabbit hole of internet searches and you find this kid. He's pretty cute, but he doesn't really relate to us. Or sometimes we make New Year's resolutions and we're going to go to the gym, we're going to get strong, and you find this. What do? A lot of times we turn right around. And I pick these because they're busy and confusing. But I'm also here to tell you that strength training, weightlifting, resistance training is for everyone. And even though sometimes we can't really find our realm of experience here, I'm here to offer some ideas, some guidance, and some information to tell you why you can do it and why it's really important, why it's really good for you. So I want to start at the beginning here and talk about what strength training really is. It doesn't mean you're lifting something bigger than your whole body at the gym. It's any number of exercise modalities with the goal of inducing a muscular contraction to build strength, muscular endurance, and or the size of your muscles. That's all. And everyone can and should do it. Because the benefits to strength training, I can hardly fit on one slide. Yes, you get stronger, you get more endurance, you get bigger muscles, you develop power, which is being able to push something heavy fast, move something heavy quickly. But in the act of building your muscles, you also build your connective tissue, your tendons and your ligaments. So tendons connect muscle to bone, and ligaments are muscle to muscle. The reason it's awesome that these get built up is because they support your joints. So if you hurt, if your joints hurt, you can help them by increasing your muscles and your connective tissue strength and resilience. It improves your bone health. This is fantastic. So when you lift something heavy or create a motion pattern with your body under resistance, your bones, your whole skeletal system has to react to. So your bones have to go through this flexion and extension, bending and coming back, sort of a torque as well, a twisting, and your bone responds by laying down new bone cells. So if you're worried about bone disease, lifting weights, strength training is right for you. Your bones get stronger, even when you're past the point of your early life where you're really laying down good bone. It increases your neuromuscular firing. So your brain talking to your muscles, they're sending a signal. You're asking your body to do something, and your brain has to talk pretty quickly to your muscles to be able to do it. So the more you create motion patterns in your body and you're asking your body to respond, you get better coordination, better muscle firing, better cognitive function. So it makes us smarter, keeps our brains healthy and young. And the very best thing of all is it makes us feel good. It improves our mood. And it improves our quality of life because we maintain the function that we want to have to do the things that we want to do. So all of these health benefits relate to very real things that we're dealing with as we get older. Lifting weights regulates your blood sugar. It manages insulin resistance. So if you're diabetic, lifting weights can help you with those ups and downs that you're experiencing, that you're managing with medication and other interventions. It helps with high blood pressure. It helps reduce the symptoms of asthma. And here's a big one. It helps with arthritis, joint pain, back pain. Because the stronger your muscles are and the stronger your tendons and ligaments are, the more they support your joints, right? When you move your joints through a range of motion, your body responds by creating synovial fluid, which is the lubricant in your joints, which helps them move better. So unfortunately, when we hurt, we move less. We tend not to want to do anything because it hurts to do it. But I promise, if you start moving, your body will respond and it will adapt in a very positive way. It helps with obesity, it jacks up your metabolism, helps your engine fire hot and keep your body in a good body habitus, the body size you want to be. It helps with brain health, again, bone health. And this is new research in a talk all on its own, but we're finding out that it helps to mitigate some of the risks of cancer, particularly breast and colon cancer, which are a big concern in our society today. I want to talk briefly about the importance of strength training, benefits and risks through the decades, and I want to give you some practical advice, ideas to take home. Because you don't have to go to that busy gym. You've got stuff right in your own home that you can use, and I'll show you what you can do. Okay, I love having kids in the gym. Kids can lift. When you're in middle elementary school and you can follow directions, we can teach you how to manage your body through different movement techniques. And it's the same sort of neuromuscular firing that adults get, kids get it too. So the more we ask their body to do things in the right way, the more it fires in the right way, and the more coordinated they get. This is important because kids play sports. That asks them to move side to side, accelerate, brake, land out of a jump. And when they're strong in the weight room, they're strong on the field, and we reduce their risk of injury. We also boost their confidence because kids are all going to go through puberty. And that's a tough time. Those hormones come rushing in. You grow 4 inches in a year, and all of a sudden, you've got this new body to manage, and what do you do with this? If we teach them to manage lifting techniques, sports techniques, that time in their life, it's a little more easy. They play sports and they don't tear the ACL, stuff like that. In your 20s, these are the golden years. Everyone remember their 20s? I was awesome in my 20s. I was so strong. Now is the time. If you're not in your 20s, that's okay. It's not too late. But if you are, get strong. Get healthy, get strong, build a foundation for yourself because you're still building new bone. You're still building new muscle. Your metabolism is fast, your stamina is high, and your recovery time is low. Risks here are overdoing it because you're invincible and not really recovering, sort of ignoring little tweaky injuries that in your 30s and 40s can become real injuries. So it gets busy, right? Work is busy, might have a couple kids. You have to deal with that actual event and then raising them, and they take all of our time. So in your 30s and 40s, you peak bone density, metabolism, stamina, muscle, size, and strength, and you start the decline. So if you fight through that decline, if you somehow maintain a good schedule for yourself, whatever you can do to adjust your routine so you're not going to hurt yourself. Sometimes different exercises come into play here. Be as consistent as you can. Because as you get later on through the decades, in your 50s and 60s is when we start to have to deal with maybe some chronic conditions that come up. Cancer, rheumatoid issues, chronic pain. Things happen as we get older. Bodies just have lived, right? Here we have to be careful of things like jumping, jarring movements, more recovery time. Our bodies need another day. And here's where we can start to have some setbacks. So we have a procedure. We've got to go to physical therapy. We've got to take time off. How do we continue to restart ourselves to find the motivation to go back? And we're going to get to it, but it's all about setting a routine and a plan for yourself. Because you want to retire well. You want to be strong and healthy and give public blessings when you're 97 years old. You have the ability, wherever you are, to create the functionality that you want. It's available. And here we worry about things like frail bones, falling, being afraid of falling, and we're back to not moving very much, which, as we know now, is the way to continue to degrade our own health. So, what do we do? Let's go. Let's find some ways to take all this information and personalize it for you. Everyone that comes into my studio, all of my clients, get a needs analysis. What do you need? What are you missing? What's wrong? And then we ask, what are you able to do now? What do you have as your strengths? And what are your goals? So goals have a few parameters around them. They're time sensitive, they're specific, they're measurable, and they're reasonable. What are you going to do in this month, the next month? What do you want to be able to do? Short-term goal. What do you want to do in 6 months? A year from now, where do you want to be? Okay, well, let's make a plan to get there. With our needs analysis, goal-setting abilities, we choose specific exercises that are right for you because you're able to do them, but they also provide a little bit of a challenge so you can start to make those physiological adaptations that we talked about earlier. One thing about our bodies that is fantastic and frustrating is that they love to be stable. Homeostasis is their thing. They want to figure out what we're asking them to do and get good at it and stay. So if anyone has ever hit an exercise plateau, it's really frustrating. You are doing the work. My goodness, every day you're going and doing the work, and it's static. So here we're going to talk about a way, there's lots of ways that we manage athletes and people to keep them progressing. But one way you can do it is to calculate your volume of any exercise you're doing. So for example, if I'm going to lift these 5-pound dumbbells and I'm going to do a bicep curl 10 times, I've got my weight, 10 pounds, times my reps, 10, 100 pounds. Awesome. If you do that 3 times, 3 sets, that's 300 pounds. That's your volume of that exercise for that day. And then we can start to increase it and recover. Increase it and recover, and that's periodization. So you want to periodize your work. You build and you build and you build. 10% increase per week, and then you take a week off, which means go for a walk. Try a different exercise routine, and then you start again. Build, 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 recover. And that way we keep our bodies challenged and guessing and on a path to fighting through homeostasis. There's a lot of ways to do it. You can use your own body. Bodies are heavy. They're really good at resisting motion. You can add really fun things, which I love to use. Resistance bands and tubes. You can do free weights, dumbbells, and bars. Or if you have access to a gym, there's a ton of machines. And if you want to do that, the very best thing you can do is go to your gym and ask someone to show you around. How do you use this stuff? Because they know, and that's their job. And they're not that hard once you know how to set them up for yourself. A few different ways your muscles work: isotonic, isometric, and plyometric. So isotonic is what we typically think of as flexing and extending. So isotonic is when your joints are moving. That's one way to lift. Isometric is when your joints aren't moving, but they're still working. Like, for example, my biceps are working. I hold this long enough, they're gonna get really tired, but I'm not moving my joints. Two different ways of moving that are available to you. Plyometric is jump training, up and down and side to side. Not appropriate for everyone, but it's available. All right. We're gonna keep it simple. When you're making an exercise routine for yourself, you gotta push, you gotta pull, and rotate. And in science, we split our bodies down the middle this way, across the middle this way, and down the side here into planes of motion that we want everyone to cover. So forward and sideways, and up and down. And then we rotate about our axes. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And that's it. You're done. You got them all. And again, your body, just by itself, can do all of these. So this is a great resource. It's called Body Labs, right? Bodyworks, bodylabs.com. It has illustrations of hundreds of exercises in the beginning and the ending phase of that exercise. So if you're wondering, what should I look like when I'm doing a lateral lunge? You should look like this. And then you come back up. These are just a few examples of all the ways to push and pull and rotate with just your own body. And an example of that isometric exercise is that wall sit. You can sit against the wall and push your back into the wall and push your feet into the floor as hard as you can. Whew, it's really hard. It's really hard. Bands and tubes. I love these because they're portable. So if you're going to go out and use all those amazing pads that Savannah is developing for us, stick a tube or a band in your pocket, and all of a sudden you've got a resistance training routine on the go. You can hook it around your front porch post, and you can do a chest press. You turn it around, and you can do a row. So there's your push and your pull. You can use your own body as the anchor, and you can move your arms this way, do your shoulders. You can squat with it. These tubes are really, really versatile. And I brought some examples. You're all welcome to come up and check them out. They come in different resistance levels. You can get them at Walmart, Target, Dick's Sporting Goods. A little bit of an investment, and this stuff goes a long way. My family thinks I'm crazy. I bring them when I travel. I go up and down my neighborhood, doing my bands. I was like, Katie. Okay, that's all you need. But if you have access to free weights, more examples of push, pull, rotate. And finally, in the gym, all these types of machines. There's hundreds of types. They're great if you need to sit down, if you want to isolate certain muscle groups, if you're not sure of those complex body motions. This is a great place to start. It's available. You don't need any of that. You can get creative in your own home. This first one I learned from one of my run-throughs with Health with Savannah. She said, do you know what I do? I put playing cards on the floor, or spoons. I squat, and I pick them up one at a time. Oh my goodness. Anything you want on the floor. Squat and pick them up one at a time. Fill your reusable grocery bags with apples and oranges and potatoes. Move them around. You got it. Take the stairs. Take a backpack. This is my daughter's. Fill it with books. And if you put it on your back, all of a sudden you're that woman in the very first slide doing that back squat with her belt on, and you've got your backpack. You do the exact same thing. Take that backpack, put your band in it, go for a walk. Every bench you get to, do some push-ups on the back of it. Do some step-ups, or sit down and stand up, and sit down and stand up, holding that backpack full of whatever. And you've created a really good, balanced routine for yourself, where your body is moving past what it already knows, and engaging your muscles and your connective tissue and your bones in a new way. Okay. Get cleared by your doctor. Step one. If you're in physical therapy, get cleared by your physical therapist. Make sure you're ready to go. Make your own needs analysis. Get out a notebook, date it, go through those steps of what you need, what you can do, and where you want to go. Choose your exercises, calculate your volume, and get going. Know the difference between discomfort and pain. So So when we ask our muscles to do something new and heavy, sometimes they tear a little bit. On a microscopic level, tiny little muscle cell tears. It makes you sore. It hurts a little bit. But our body responds by repairing that particular muscle cell and then building more around it, or building them bigger around it. So yes, it gets a little sore, but keep moving. Keep moving. Don't sit still. Pain is sharp shooting, stabbing, stop and grab your elbow kind of pain. Get that checked out. But if you're just a little sore, good job. You did good. Move more, not less. If you're dizzy, if you don't feel well, if you're extremely tired, obviously those are days off. But otherwise, get out and get going. One of the very best things you can do is to find someone to work out with. Find a buddy, find a friend, find a group. There's a lot of really great research on the effectiveness of adhering to a routine, better adherence to your routine, the effectiveness of that group in keeping people engaged, trying harder. If someone's counting on you and you're counting on someone, you're more likely to go and do it. Okay, I've covered a lot in a short amount of time. I'd love to hear what you know and what questions. It's one of my heroes. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. So if someone is embarking on a strength training program initially, would you recommend any changes to diet to accommodate for maybe burning more calories or using their muscles differently?
Well, diet and nutrition is as individualized as a strength training program is. Some people have to deal with things like allergies and aversions, specific requirements for their diet. My recommendation is eat whole food, real food, not too much. And those seem like too basic of guidelines, but the other thing is when you exercise, you tend to want to eat better food. So everyone needs proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and those are all available in whole real food form. So that's something that I sit down and talk with individually, everybody. It's hard to answer.
Hi Katie, I have a question. I used to weight lift before I was pregnant, and I'm very pregnant now, as obvious. So when I am done recovering and whatnot, what are some tips to get me back into it?
Well, recovery from pregnancy is a really specific condition. So what happens when you're pregnant is your abdominal muscles stretch way out. And people recover differently on different timelines. So once you're cleared by your doctor, we check if your ab muscles have come back together. So down the middle of your abs is your diastasis, and sometimes that gets really spread out. So you want to make sure we start to encourage that back together with very specific core exercises. And then you want to start as if you're completely starting over. You start to walk, you push your baby in a stroller, and then behind that stroller you can do some squats and some lunges, some very light body weight type exercises. And I guess I should really sort of emphasize, before you put weight on yourself, make sure that you can accomplish that motion with just your own body. And it's full body just like everything else. With pregnancy, you have a lot of hormones like relaxin in your system for a couple of months afterwards. You want to be really careful with running, jumping, really high impact types of things. But slow, gentle, but still full body, full motion.
Still on that 1 week off, just do exercise, but to a lesser degree, right?
That's right.
And change the routine possibly, so it's not the same muscle.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And that gives your body a chance to recover, and it gives you an opportunity to change your routine, like you said, so you're not just doing the same things over and over, and your body just getting used to those things. And, sorry, more on the periodization thing. You can look at the whole year in terms of 4 seasons. So in sports, we talk about season, postseason, off-season, and preseason, and all of those have very different specific goals. So you can sort of think about the 4 seasons of the year and what's available to you in those 4 seasons. So the fall and the spring, when it's really nice outside, maybe that's where you incorporate that walk with your resistance items along with you. In the winter and the summer, when it's not so pleasant, you can do your home workouts, push-ups against the countertop, wall sits, things in your living room. And so that way you can change it up just according to the calendar seasons.
How many reps for strength training do you recommend for the average senior?
So for basic strength building, the number of reps is 8 to 10. If you are looking to build really big muscles, you lift in sets of 3 to 5 and you lift really heavy. So as much as you can get in 5 reps and then you rest. So that's hypertrophy, that's muscle size. Basic strength, 8 to 10. And muscular endurance, if you're a marathon runner, longer sets, 12 to 15. And how you determine if you're at the right weight is if you get to that last rep and it's hard but not impossible. If you get to 10 and you keep going forever, well then you know next time, try a little heavier, try a little more.
Thank you, Katie. I used to work in health publications, and whenever I lacked a story idea, I would just go to whatever the popular fitness trend was, and I'd do CrossFit injuries or P90X injuries or yoga injuries. So how do you have any recommendations on how we can navigate the really sexy, popular new fitness trends and stay healthy and uninjured and fit?
Yes, and I need to be careful. So, all the fitness trends are based on the same sort of principle of challenging your body in different ways, doing different types of exercise, and increasing the load. What happens, though, sometimes if we're in a group setting and there's one workout for the whole group, is that we're not exactly sure how to modify it for ourselves. So injuries happen when your technique is off, you're too tired to manage the move, the weight is too heavy, or you have something wrong that you shouldn't be doing that move in the first place. I think it's our responsibility to talk to the professionals who are offering these groups and these classes and say, I've got something going on. I'm not comfortable with this. I don't think I can do it. Is there a modification? Is there a way that I should be doing this because I'm worried about hurting this? CrossFit is a great example because in CrossFit and a lot of heavier, more dynamic classes, people are cheering for you to get the last rep and go as hard as you can. And it's really, really invigorating and encouraging. And if people aren't listening to their own body and listening to the feedback it's giving you, we make mistakes for ourselves. It's not the class's fault, it's on us. And we need to be informed and to ask the right questions.
Do you ever reach an age where you don't need to do strength training or cardio?
No.
Never reach it.
My oldest client is 78, and they just started about a year ago. Never done anything before, but they didn't feel stable on their feet. They were afraid of falling, and we've come a long way. So, never the wrong time.
I have a basic question. If I'm healthy and I just wanted to work out to get 6 pack or iliac file? Is it possible?
I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. Say it again.
I just wanted a six pack or an iliac file.
So, when people, the six pack is there under everything else. It's there, I promise, it's right there. And that's a good question because nutrition and exercise are separate categories. You exercise because you want to be functional and healthy and strong, and you eat right because you want a particular body size. So, once you're not 20 anymore, I used to call them damage control workouts. All those Christmas cookies, whew, I'm going to the gym. It doesn't work anymore. So if you want your six pack to show, that's nutrition, because we all have those abdominal muscles. That's how we're standing straight.
I'm not standing up so straight anymore. I used to walk. Think about 7-8 miles a day, but I developed problems. What would you suggest? Because sometimes I'm walking with a cane, sometimes I'm not. I really love those days when I'm not. What would you suggest for me to get back into strengthening myself?
Well, you can do a number of exercises in a chair. So you don't have to have the strength to stand to start to do something like that. Anything that you can hold in your hands, you can raise above your head and you can raise forward and out to the side and start to build some arm and shoulder strength. You can raise your legs one at a time. You can raise them straight or you can extend them in a chair. You can put resistance on your legs there's ankle weights. You can have a resistance tube kind of wrapped around your chair and you gotta kick out that resistance tube. And on the internet, the greatest of all resources, you can look up chair workouts. It's great. There's also a number of yoga studios in town that do chair yoga. You know, the YMCA offers that. There might be some free or community classes. So if you're chair bound, that's okay. There's plenty to do. Another thing you can do, which is what I do when I'm driving my car because I'm like this, at every stoplight I flex my abs as hard as I can until the light turns red or green. And then I go. And I hit another red light and I squeeze my abs as hard as I can.
My abs don't recognize.
Small little things just out of there.
So these things ever, like if you keep what you do at the lights,
Yeah.
at the end of the day you have a full workout?
Yes and no. Some of that is just teaching your body to be engaged and turned on, because that helps with your posture. Your whole core, abs, obliques, glutes, hips. Those are muscles that you need to train all the time because they're your foundation for being able to move your extremities. So just kind of tighten them up all the time. It counts and it doesn't count. It counts when it's new. It doesn't count when you're used to it. Does that make sense?
Any more questions? I'll put a plug in for water aerobics, the Chatham Aquatic Center. If you feel like you're not quite ready to do, all of it, like you said, standing and moving, the Aquatic Center offers really strength training in the water where they have you do the leg lifts and have you kick on the wall. You have to do twists and things so that you can build up the strength to do some of these if you really feel you're not there yet. So it helps you get rid of some of that gravity, help you out.
Are they offering senior rates?
I think they do, but they do have senior classes and stuff.